In theory, bigger is better, as well as stronger and faster. Going for a bigger caliber gets to a bigger projectile, generally with more energy and more often than not, with more velocity. If you do not want to increase the caliber that you shoot, maybe because it would make for a gun that is too big to be practical to carry, you have a different way to go. Choose plus P ammo. While the projectile is not necessarily heavier, it does leave the muzzle at a greater velocity, bringing more energy downrange. However, there are some myths involving plus P ammo, be it in 9mm or any other caliber. There are also some interesting facts, and today we get to the bottom of both. The general assumption is that more oomph is more lethal, and plus P gets you exactly that. Let's face it, being in the worst situation of your life, when you actually have to draw your gun and down a bad guy, you want him to go down as fast as possible. This is especially true as a self-defense situation in which you can actually use a firearm needs as a minimum a threat to your life or of greater bodily harm. This means that your assailant is probably armed. You do not want him to get a shot or swing at you with whatever weapon he uses before the projectile you just fired finally shows the desired effect. The sad truth is that for a round to achieve that effect, there are several factors that have to work together. The plus P alone means nothing here. It just shows that the ammo has been loaded at pressures higher than the normal ones for that caliber. How much higher is not even said. So are 9mm rounds loaded to a maximum of 35,000 psi? Being plus P, the round might just have a pressure of 35,001 psi. The standardization of the pressure comes from a request of Congress in 1961. This led to the foundation of the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers, in short, SAMI. With the standardization, it would be safer to use guns and ammo, and the compatibility of one for the other could be assured. The result is that you can buy 9mm ammo today and use it in any pistol in that caliber, no matter if it was produced in 1910, 1950, or 2020. All guns are made to withstand the pressures of the caliber they are meant to use, while the ammunition manufacturer makes sure that their ammo does not exceed these numbers. This way, you can shoot your gun knowing it will not blow up right into your face. Staying with the 9mm, the MAP, maximum average pressure, stands at 35,000 psi. As mentioned, most manufacturers will stay inside this limit and often enough below it. Modern-day metallurgy allows to produce guns that can easily withstand more. For that, and to improve the performance of the ammo, SAMI added the plus P option to the 9mm caliber. Here, the MAP is 38,500 psi. That does not mean that this pressure has to be achieved. Plus P starts with crossing the line of the original MAP. The increase of pressure, which is maximal 10%, brings an increase of 4 to 5% in muzzle velocity. At the same time, the recoil increases 7 to 9%. While this increase in ballistics is what users are looking for, it is the terminal performance that matters most. More velocity means that hollow point bullets expand more. That leads to a larger wound cavity. It can also cause deformation that might change its path inside tissue. At the same time, with more expansion comes a larger front diameter, resulting in less penetration. While the wound cavity might be larger in terms of diameter, it might be smaller in terms of length. This by itself is a double-edged sword. It might be good in one situation and less so in another. However, often enough, the same bullets are used for normal pressures and for plus P rounds. For a hollow point projectile to work at its best, it has to hit above a certain velocity and below another one. If it's too slow, it will simply not expand at all, or not expand enough. If it does not expand at all, it will behave like a full metal jacket projectile inside the body light. If it does hit too fast, it might disintegrate, shedding pieces of its jacket, leading to loss of weight with less energy retention with even less penetration. A good example is the good old 45 ACP Remington 185 grain Golden Saber ammo. Loaded to standard pressure, it will expand to a diameter of 0.65 inches and penetrate to a depth of 17 inches. Using the plus P version with its increase in velocity, the expansion also increases to 0.71 inches. However, the penetration is now only 13 inches. What you get is not a clear-cut improvement, but a trade-off. In this example, the standard ammo does create a wound cavity that is overall 5% larger than that of the plus P ammo of the same caliber. That is not all. With the plus P ammo, you do get more recoil, pay more for the ammo, and increase the wear on the gun. Also, with the more in recoil, your accuracy is going down. Now, that does not mean that plus P ammo is always going to be worse than the standard ammo. There are guns and cartridges that do benefit nicely from the increased pressure. One example is a snub-nose revolver chambered in .38 Special. Here you get a round that is rather slow to begin with, and a gun with a very short barrel. Ammo in Plus B can give it exactly the kick it needs. Shooting the Buffalo Bore TAC XP round with a projectile weight of 110 grain expands to a diameter of 0.6 inches. With it, it achieves a penetration of only 12.5 inches. Using the Plus B variant of this round, the expansion is just 0.54 inches thanks to the petals being peeled back further. This leads to a penetration of 16.5 inches and a wound cavity that is overall 7% larger. Here, Plus B ammo does absolutely make sense. Terminal performance needs velocity, a good expansion, and a good weight of the projectile to retain the energy longer. This all has to work with your handgun itself, as it offers a base performance that you can increase to bring it to higher levels without crossing the maximum velocity, which leads to the disintegration of the bullet. For you, this means you need to test your Plus B ammo in your own handgun to find out if it actually increases the performance or maybe even decreases it. So far, the matter is already complicated enough, but it has been complicated even further with the appearance of the Plus P Plus ammo. This one is not only loaded above the map for the standard pressure, but also above the map for Plus P ammo as well. There is no classification for this new category, so you do not know what pressure you actually get, and if your own gun can safely handle it. What makes matters worse is that not all handguns can even withstand the level of Plus P ammo. If you ask yourself if you should use Plus P ammo for your defensive handgun, the answer is it depends with some caveats. First, to safely use it, your handgun must be rated for it, so it can actually withstand the pressure safely. This info you can either find on the side of your handgun or in its manual. Second, you must be sure that it brings you actually an increase in effect. Third, you must be able to manage the recoil. For most handguns and most calibers, it's safe to say that the increase in performance is negligible, at best if not an outright decrease in its terminal effect. This makes it not advisable to invest the money to buy the more expensive Plus P ammo and to increase the wear on your gun. If you are carrying a short-barreled revolver chambered in .38 Special Plus B, it's also safe to say that you most probably will benefit from Plus B ammo. The short barrel makes it hard for standard ammo to achieve velocities that are above the threshold needed for good and reliable expansion of hollow point rounds. Here, Plus B ammo gives it the kick it needs to perform adequately. The prices for the ammo are in this caliber not that much higher, as is the wear on the gun itself. Being a revolver, albeit a small one, you will also have less problem managing the stronger recoil. In conclusion, Plus B ammo does in some cases give you the performance boost that you need. In many others, it is just counterproductive while at the same time being more expensive, reducing accuracy and increasing the wear on your gun.